Okay, welcome everyone to the Tech Sales for Beginners webinar by the School of Advanced Selling. Okay, welcome today. If you are joining us live, let me know where you're joining us from. Lagos, Port Harcourt, outside of Nigeria, Ghana, anywhere you're joining us from, just let me know. Just type in the comment section where you're joining us from so we can know who we are connected to. Let us know where you are joining us from. Just type in the comment section where you're joining us from so we know we're about to start. In the next few minutes, we get started. We'll just give some time for people to join in and for you to do like some introduction of yourself, where you're joining us from, and what you hope. Just type in one or two things what you hope to get from this webinar, and we'll get started in about say 10:07 Nigerian time. I'm super pumped and super excited for this webinar because a lot of people in the community have asked us, when are we going to have a webinar like this? And we're more than excited to be doing something like this for the very first time in the academy, right? I think this is our first live webinar that we're having, and we're super pumped, super excited to be doing this. And even more exciting is the fact that I'm doing this with a friend, a colleague who I believe is super vast within the ecosystem and has a lot to share. And I'm super excited. He's the one starting the first edition, the first episode of our webinar series, essentially. So yeah, I mean, let's get started. Let's get started right here. So this is the Tech Sales for Beginners webinar, right? And it's hosted by the School of Advanced Selling. So what we do at the School of Advanced Selling is we're essentially a learning community, and we're dedicated to helping sales professionals and enthusiasts, essentially people who want to, jump into the field of sales, get started in their tech sales career, or just get better at selling. It doesn't matter if you're a business person, if you own a business, if you own a company and you want to equip your staff members on how to sell your business properly, the School of Advanced Selling is the best place to be, right? And we do this across industries with practical insight and strategies and proven techniques that drive results, right? Students within our academy, within our community have crazy and massive results, and we're super excited. And we're bringing up somebody here today, to just share one of their experience or some of the experiences after joining the academy, so we can just get an insight of what we're doing within the School of Advanced Selling, right? So the academy was formerly known as Tech Sales Academy, and it's super interesting because when we started this, the conversation was around how do we take tech salespeople from that very early stage, entry level, to becoming the best they can be in their tech careers. But then we thought to ourselves, right, a lot of people, even outside of tech, need the skill of sales, right? Sales spans across everything you're doing in life, right? If you go for a job interview, you must learn how to sell yourself, right? If you're doing a business, you must learn how to sell your business. If you're in the tech sales profession, you must learn how to be the best at it, right? And so we said, this is not just tailored to tech, right? And so we had to expand our focus beyond technology to serve a broader audience. So whether you work within the SaaS ecosystem or consulting, FMCG, constructing, media, manufacturing, and any other industry at all, you want to be a part of the School of Advanced Selling if growing your career, becoming better at what you do is something you hunger for, right? And at the School of Advanced Selling, we provide free expert tips, right? Resources and strategies that work. And we also host live webinars just like this one and workshops to sharpen your skills. Okay. And so we also host workshop within the community, maybe not as open and as free as this one, but then we host workshops, free webinars such as this one, to community members and to every single person who would love to join the community, right? Just like you, who would potentially be listening to this live and maybe after this live session, right? And we also have paid courses that are specialized and specialized training programs, including our flagship Tech Sales Mastery course, right? Essentially now, all of these programs are designed to help you succeed within any industry that you work at, right? Within any industry that you work in or at, right? So let's move on quickly. So far, we've done 2 cohorts in the tech sales with the Tech Sales Mastery course, and we've had tremendous results. I just saw Praise join in now. Praise was one of our students. We did the Tech Sales Mastery course, cohort 1, and she's doing amazingly for herself at the moment, right? So we've done cohort 1, cohort 2, and we are about to launch the cohort 3 of the Tech Sales Mastery course. Hopefully you get a chance to join that cohort and get started in your tech sales journey. Now, what is the objective of this webinar? Why have we decided to start this kind of webinars, free webinars online to give people access? And essentially, we started this kind of webinars just to give you access, right, to understand the fundamentals of tech sales, right? So what is tech sales? What is this tech sales people are always talking about? When you hear tech sales, what does it actually mean, right? What does it essentially mean, right? And so we'll be discussing, we'll be deep diving into that today. And number 2 is to help you gain insights into the tech industry landscape and what employers are looking for, right? So you want to go into the tech sales profession. You don't want to go in blindly, right? You want to understand what are employers looking out for, right? If I go into an interview today, what am I expected to say, right? What would this employer be looking out for me to say? So you don't flop it on your first interview, right? You get that here. And then you also learn practical next steps to help you launch seamlessly into the tech sales career path, right? So I'm about to introduce our guest today, and I'm super excited about this one because he's somebody who has done amazingly well for himself throughout his career, right? He has walked across the banking sector, he has walked across fintech, he has walked across multiple sectors within the tech space, data, you can name it, right? And he has managed somehow to grow into the managerial level at such a young age, right? I'm talking about no other person than Pius Oladoyin. And I'm just going to say a brief intro about him so you just know who I'm talking about, this personality I'm talking about, okay? So Pius is a seasoned business development leader with extensive experience helping financial institutions and tech companies grow across Africa, right? Pius currently serves as a manager of lending automation business development at Core, formerly known as AppZone, right? Where he works with banks and fintechs to streamline credit processes through automation. Now, prior to this, he held roles at Stairs, and that was where I met Pius, by the way, and Mash McLennan, and the Development Bank of Nigeria, and also Zenith Bank, right? Building expertise in sales, client acquisition, client relationship management, and business management, right? If your hands are not busy, if you're not holding a cup of coffee wherever you are watching this live from, please give a round of applause, a virtual round of applause for Pius Oladoyin. Welcome to the call, Pius.
Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Pius. And thank you so much. I understand how busy you are, Pius. And thank you so much for taking the time to join me on this live session, just to educate people on what it takes to become that tech sales professional that they want to be, right? Because within the community, and this is why we're doing this, Pius, within the community, we hear lots of people ask questions. How can I get started in tech? How can I get started in tech sales? And because the myth around tech is that tech is all about codes and design, right? And so people do not believe that if I cannot code, if I cannot design, there's no room for me within the tech ecosystem, right? So this call essentially is to demystify that. And yeah, I just wanted you to do that for us. So briefly before we get started, just tell us a bit about yourself, Pius. I know I just read some really big grammar field intro about you, but I mean, in simple words, tell us about yourself.
So yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, just a bit about myself. I think the profile sort of does justice to that. I was a bit, yeah, looking at it. Wow, this is a little bit. It's a long time coming. So I started my career. I actually have an engineering background, which is odd, moving from that into sales, or maybe a bit of a detour. But yeah, I started with an engineering background, engineering degree, and then moved quickly into sales. Started sales in the thick of it, in commercial banks, development finance, and then also then after then moving into tech sales and just focusing on looking at startups, looking at new businesses, looking at companies building technology for institutions or for growth, basically. The bulk of my experience has been in B2B sales. I've done some B2C sales as well, and most people tell you B2C is the jungle, but people still do it, and it can be fun. But the bulk of my experience has been in B2B sales. So, and currently, I work with a couple of startups as well, just helping them push their product, go to market strategy, put together their sales strategy, and then just get to their customers very quickly. Yeah.
Amazing stuff, and you do that amazingly well. At least I've worked with you, so I know what you can do, Pius. Okay, yeah. So very quickly, I know you mentioned two things there, and just to make it clear, people who are joining this live are really new to tech sales. So most of them have no knowledge about the tech ecosystem. Some of them are relatively new, and obviously people who will be watching this after this live would be really new into the tech ecosystem. So what is B2B and what is B2C?
Well, yeah, so B2B is my domain, which is business to business. B2C means business to customers, or business to consumer, depending on on how you want to, but business to consumer basically. And that the difference there is just who you're selling to, right? You're a business, so you're selling to somebody. So the person you're selling to is who is on the other end of that. So business to business or business to consumers. An example would be, a solution like let me use a payment solution, for example. There are payment solutions where let me take an FX payment solution, for example. You have people like Lemfi who will do, you have £20, you're somewhere in London and you want to send that to your brother in Nigeria. You can just open an account or connect your Barclays account to Lemfi and then send money to your brother in Nigeria. But then you have some other players, I think, like people like I think Beto or some other people like that who specialize in B2B, who specialize in businesses who are trying to buy goods, services, or purchase, a license or whatever it is from a company in the UK, and they can help you. You have Naira, they can help you to get that whatever service or product you're trying to get in the UK and help you with like that FX. So that's just the basic difference. Who they are selling to is quite different. The other business is selling to customers directly, then the other one is selling to businesses, and you can have other iterations of that. You can have B2B. You can have B2C, you can have B2B2C, so businesses selling to companies who are selling to another end product of customers. We also have B2G, businesses selling to government, so government product, government softwares, government tech, tax, things like that. You have a lot of variations of that, basically. Yeah, so yeah.
Amazing. So what that essentially means is there's a lot of opportunities within the tech sales industry. I mean, that's amazing to know. That's amazing to know. And I know you have a slide to share today, Pius. And just before you go into the slide, and I know you have your story to share in the slide, just tell us a bit about your journey sojourning into tech sales, right? How did you start? And maybe you can then segue into your slides just using that story.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So I was going to get into my slide. Maybe I don't know if I should wait to slide, or I should just do that right now. Let me just try and
Yeah.
share my screen just a bit. Yeah. So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah, not yet.
Okay. So I think you need to bring it up.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, I see it now.
Okay, perfect. Okay, yeah. So I think I'll just go dive straight into it, and then maybe from any of my rants, it might just help one person on the call or a few people get into tech sales. It's very, very interesting. I think one of the things I need to start off with is that tech sales is very, very interesting. It's the most interesting thing I've done. It's probably where I think I want to be long term, barring any new shock in the market. Tech is always evolving, but it's very interesting. I think that's the first thing to just to highlight. Um, so on this slide, what I just put in here is just I wanted to help people on the call to explore a career in tech sales. Understand what are the advantages, discover that, understand how that helps you, learn about how lucrative it is. I think you can agree with me that from our experience, we realize that it's quite lucrative, and also a little bit away from, or largely away from the non from the coding opportunities that exist, the vast coding opportunities that exist within the tech ecosystem. So most people believe that if you're not an engineer, if you don't know any type of code, you can be in tech sales. But actually, the people who make the most buck in sales most times are the people who actually put that product in front of a customer, who actually get people paying for that product. Because what is the essence of building a product if you can't put it in front of a customer who would actually pay for it, right? That's where the real money is. So I want to start by just demystifying, just doing quick explanation on what is tech sales. Tech sales is the process of, selling technology products or services to end customers. It doesn't involve writing code or building software. You are basically the bridge between the product team and the customer. So you need to, part of what tech sales entails is just understanding first your customer's problem, and then understanding the value of your product as well, and then be able to bridge the gap there. So you're basically a consultant, you're a problem solver, you're a relationship builder, you're a bridge basically between the two most important part of the business, the value, and the person who's in need, who we are providing that value to. Um, I'll just go straight into tech sales advantage. I think it's always important to to understand the what you tend to gain by coming into any career at all. Um, I know maybe there are people joining us from other parts of the world, but in Nigeria, it's usually a little bit techy. No pun intended, but it's a little bit techy when you finish from the university or something and you don't know exactly where to go to. But then when you when you have opportunities, when you have opportunities like this, you need to understand the advantages going in. You need to understand what you tend to gain. And like I said, this is very interesting. Firstly, because of the earning potentials, there's a lot of money to be made in tech sales, right? You enjoy significant income and then bonuses. One of the things that tech sales people don't tell you is that there is if you do the work, if you close the deals, you get a lot of money, you get a lot of commission, you get a lot of bonuses, and that's very important to know upfront going into this career path. To also put that at the back of your mind that this is also something that you also need to fight for. Because sometimes within the industry, it can be a little bit um, shrouded in the shadows, and people don't want you to know what exactly you're supposed to gain. But we are supposed to be making a good income from sales, from tech sales. There's also rapid growth opportunity because of the way the industry is, especially in this part of the world. There's a lot of need for tech sales professionals because new software technology is coming up every day. Africa is innovating every time with technology, and not just Africa. Around the world, technology is like the main industry now. The most valuable companies in the world, the first three, the top half of the top 10 most valuable companies on the stock exchange uh, are technology companies, right? And they need people who can sell this product. They need people who can understand this product and then sell that product. And so there's always high growth demand, high growth and high demand in that industry. You see people always hiring for sales, always hiring for sales, because you can't build a product without having a sales team to put it out. There's also excellent career mobility. So one of the things I've realized is that I think from what you did during the preamble, during the introduction as well, you need sales for everything, right? You need to be able to sell. We both worked in startups. We both worked, and one of the things that we found out is that most CEOs are actually salespeople, right? The job of a CEO at a startup is sales. You are selling your business. You're selling your value to investors. They even do probably better sales or more intensive sales than the rest of us, right? Because you get a lot of rejections there. You get a lot of actual people who can tell you to get out of your face,
Yeah,
right?
my face.
You like sales, right? So there's excellent career mobility there. If you can sell well, you can sell. You can move up to C-suite positions, because part of selling, like you mentioned, is also selling yourself. When you start learning sales or tech sales skills, you realize you're able to also then sell yourself even within your organization or to other players in the market, and you're able to just move faster with your career. Um, the last is also impactful problem solving. I think one of the things I like the most about sales, and one of the things I can always be proud of looking back, is always just the impact, right? And I have people, CEOs, who call me and say, "Hey, they're just friends. We're just friends because I sold him a product that works
Yeah.
and he's using it till today." And in his mind, he doesn't know exactly why. There's trust. There's just that trust there, but it's because you sold a very valuable product. You provided value, right? Everything in life is about providing value, and then from there you can then move forward with anything that you're planning to do. So I wanted to also tackle some myth around tech sales. There's a lot of myths around tech sales. Before getting into it, it can be a little bit in the shadow. What exactly is it? What am I going to be doing? Coding is very difficult, so I don't want to get into that. So how does this how do you interface with product? How do you understand the product? How do you even speak to a customer when you're not that technical, right? So the first myth is that you need to be a tech guru or a programmer to be in tech sales. And the reality is that your primary role is selling, right? Your primary role is building relationship with customer, is understanding, focusing on on technology value. This technology that I've been tasked to sell, what is the value here, right? What is the underlying value, not the underlying code, right? You don't need to understand what it's built on, whatever it is, but what is the value, right? That is what is most important in selling. Um, Next is another important myth is you need a degree in IT or computer science to
Okay.
be able to
So,
sell.
so,
Like I
so, so,
mentioned, yeah,
can you
go
hear
ahead,
me?
please.
Yeah, yeah. I just
Yeah, I
got a
can.
comment. Yeah, I got a comment. Someone said, "Can the slide be delayed a bit so people taking notes can take notes?"
Oh, okay, okay, no
Yeah,
problem,
yeah, yeah.
no problem. I think another thing we can do after this is to share this with everybody on the call, if that's possible. Maybe people can drop their email addresses, and
Yeah.
then we can share this with them
Makes
afterwards.
sense. Makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So, like I was saying, so it's all around, having, that technical skill. Do you need, a degree in computer science or computer engineering? You need to understand coding. You need to go to a boot camp. All of those scary, words that people don't like to hear. You don't need any of those, right? You just need practical experience in communicating properly, in understanding how to solve problem, in even understanding how to listen, how to understand needs, right? It's very important in sales, more valuable than degrees or whatever it is. So that's basically what you need. You don't need to have a degree even closely related to tech or to technology or to programming or anything of the sort. Another myth I think is that this is a very important one, and I think we've experienced it as salespeople, is the idea of salespeople being pushy and being aggressive. It's a very I wrote something on LinkedIn some time ago about a tech sales position that I saw online, and the person was saying, if you can't sell, we need you if you can sell sand in the Sahara. So that was the word that just figured that this tech sales role is for people who can sell sand in the Sahara. And you've had that, Michael. You've had that said a lot. You need to be able to sell snow to an
Oh
Eskimo.
my
So ridiculous. Sales is not about it's not about pushing aggressively, pushing a product to people who don't need it,
God.
right? Those are olden days door-to-door salesmen, right? That's not
Strategies.
what we do, right? So tech sales is about understanding customer needs and then bringing your value to the customer. If at the first time of speaking to a customer, they just tell you, hey, we don't use this, we're not in your industry at all, we're not your ideal customer, uh, we don't think we will ever need this. Get out of their face, right? Get out of their face and find your ideal customer. Put the product in front of them, right? That is your job. Not one of the things I've also learned is that when you find your ideal customer, right, you build a technology product. It's supposed to serve a need. When you find the person who actually has that need, you don't need to do much, right?
It's
You
easy.
just need to
Yeah.
follow a process, and the sales and the deal will be closed. You just need to follow a set down process. You don't need to be too charismatic. You don't need to be, you just need to communicate properly. You just need to translate value properly, and then be able to just build trust, and just be the face that they can trust, and that's it. And you're able to sell. So sales, tech sales specifically, is not about being pushy, especially now when people are kind of understanding all of these things, and when there's a lot of nonsense in the market. People are just selling all sorts of rubbish. So you need to be able to not be pushy and aggressive and be all the old school sales type, but be able to understand value, be able to understand need, and be able to marry that together. So, like I said, anyone can do sales. Anyone can sell. Anyone can do tech sales, especially because you don't need much. You don't need much background. You don't just need to understand, the customer. You need to be able to listen. One of the things I think I've learned the most is about listening. Listening, you'll be able to uncover a lot of things. The need of the customer, where you can tie your value to their bottom line. If you're selling to a product, to a business, for example, you need to be able to tie that to their bottom line. You need to understand their pain points. You need to even understand, what makes them tick, right? If they double their sale, if they double their um maybe they're doing some numbers, and if they double that number this month or this year, that would be the value that they need, and that would just mean the world to them, and that just creates trust with you. So you need to be able to listen properly to understand what that means, and that might be listening in different ways, and that might be listening through the pulse in markets, listening through research, and also just listening to the customer directly. And so you find that in B2B sales, the most important thing in B2B sales, in my opinion, is the discovery call, right? That first call you have with the customer. It's called we call it the discovery call, where you understand the customer's need. Before you even start pitching, before you even start telling them about your product, you need to understand them first. You need to understand their needs. You need to understand where in the world they live and why they need this product, where in the world they do business, and who are their customers. Why does your product serve them, and how does it serve them, basically. So you need to understand that. So it's vital for you to be able to listen. It's also vital for you to be able to understand your own product, right? You need to be a master on your own product. You need to understand your product very well to be able to communicate it to the customer. I wouldn't lie to you. If you are new to tech sales, there will be some aspects that is going to be technical, right? You might need to understand some technical bits, and that might not always be tech, right? I think Michael and I used to work at a company called Steers, where you have to basically become economists, right? To be able to sell to people, to be able to push the product to people. You need to become like an investment banker to be able to speak to investment bankers to understand that product, right? It's a SaaS product, but still you need to become that. You're selling a fintech product, you need to become a banker, you need to become a financial services expert, right? If you're talking about FX, if you're talking about movement in the market, if you're talking about CBN rates, how do they calculate their interest? You need to understand them first to be able to understand then how your product serve the customer. And this is important because the sales serve as a very important value add to the product, because you're always bringing feedback to the product, you're enhancing the product. You basically own the product. If on a day you say, oh, none of our customers need this feature, this a good and functioning startup or a good and functioning tech company should shut down that feature once a salesperson says, hey, this is no longer needed by our customer. So all of those things you need to be able to understand. So sometimes it might get technical, but what you need to be able to also do is to be willing to learn, be quick to learn, understand the product quickly, understand what you need to understand for sales, right? So an example would be, you have a software. For a product person, for an engineer, they need to go to the back end to understand how everything connects. For you, you don't really need all of those things. You just need the technical terms. You need the buzzwords. You need to understand those things that the customer might need to understand. And then you need all of those things to be able to communicate. So communicate value. Moving on. So yes, I wanted to get to my career journey, right? How did I get into tech sales? I think I sort of touched on some of those. I started in commercial, in corporate Nigeria, so corporate commercial banking, development finance, selling things like debts or loans or large value added services, banking services to commercial banks and all sorts of banks across Nigeria and across West Africa, and then it just hits me at some point that where the value is in tech. A lot of technology companies are coming up. Technology is like the mainstay. Money Points, if you ask somebody who is probably 10, 15 years old, they understand Money Points model probably better than Zenith Bank, right? So that is the power of technology, right? They probably understand, they probably have had Paystack more than they've heard about First Bank, right? So that is where the world is going to. Everything is being anchored by technology. Even those old players are also trying so hard to get into the technology space. Yeah. Technology is very, very important. So I decided to move into tech sales. And like I said, anybody can do sales. And then all of those skills are transferable. If you're already doing sales somewhere, even if it's at a supermarket, you're doing retail sales, it's transferable skills. If you're doing it well, you can transfer that skill into tech sales. And so I moved into tech sales, started looking at products, started looking at how to sell technology products to people who need them, basically. And like I said, I'm intentionally decided to do B2B because you also need to understand yourself, right? You need to understand your own temperament, your own build, and every other thing like that. There's a way you can, there's a charismatic composure. There's a way you can carry yourself that can help you with maybe doing sales better, depending on what you sell, right? If you need more people to understand your product, or more people to buy your product, and you need a mass audience, then you need to be able to play the mass audience game, right? You need to be able to play with social media, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. You need to be able to play all of those things. For me, I was not that guy. I was a LinkedIn guy, right? A guy who can, who can do all of those LinkedIn cliche and all of those things. So I understood that was where my strength was. And so I played to that, and then I focused on B2B sales. I can tie a value to the customer's need, especially if it means something that would, that would give them value, or that would improve their ROI, improve their turnaround time, or whatever it is. I understood that because I came from that background, right? I came from corporate, and I understand how that works. And so I just owned in onto that. If you are more, outgoing, you are more Instagram, TikTok person, then you need to own that. You need to own, putting out content to be able to sell to the mass audience and be able to push that properly. So you need to understand your own composition as well. to sell properly. So that's basically my journey, and still going, it's still ongoing, and hopefully it goes on very well, and I stay in tech sales and make more money. Yeah,
Just quickly before you move on, Pius, I think let's just
yeah.
double click on your career transition and growth for a while. What would you say is that one thing you did right that made you move so fast, so quickly within your career?
So I think one of the most important things um is being able to learn, being a learner. I think so. I'm thinking about two things right now. First is just being a learner, being able to learn, right? Part of tech sales, like I mentioned, is being able to quickly come into a team, understand the product quickly, and be the first to understand it enough to sell to somebody and be able to convince somebody to buy it. That is an important skill. So you need to be a learner. You need to be somebody who learns quickly, right? Somebody's telling you something. This is called, what we sell is APIs. What is APIs? You've never heard about that. You need to be able to understand what APIs is today and be able to convince somebody about APIs today. So that ability to learn quickly, to be able to learn, understand what that means, be able to sell it quickly is very, very important. You need to learn skills uh, on how to learn. I don't know if that makes sense. Be able to learn, create skills or experiences for yourself to be able to learn quickly, right? You need to you need to condition yourself to learn very quickly. It's very, very important. So that when you handle a product, you're able to use it, see how it works, understand it, understand every other thing that the customer needs to understand, and then be able to sell to that customer. Very important for sales. The second thing I was going to mention is having people of value around you, right? People like Michael are valuable people that I have around me, right? Can you hear me properly?
You're breaking up for a bit, Pius.
Oh, okay. Is it better now?
Hello, Pius. Can you hear me?
Yeah, is it better now?
Yeah, I guess so. Just keep talking, and I'll let you know if it gets worse.
Okay. So yeah, I was mentioning, so I think I mentioned the first thing, which is being able to learn quickly, right? So that was the first thing that I think is most important. The second is having important people or valuable people around you, people who are also willing to learn, people who are willing to, you know, to support you. So a community, basically, building a community around yourself is very important. So you join tech sales community. This is a fantastic community, for example, that you need to join. Be able to learn quickly, be able to have people around
So
you.
sorry, Pius. You're really breaking off, and
Yeah.
I was guessing it was from my end, but no, I think you're breaking off.
Okay. So let me just quickly switch my internet. So one.
Okay.
So I'm guessing it should be better now.
Yeah, better.
Okay, I had to switch my internet. This is Nigeria. Everybody's trying to tell us things that don't fully work. Yeah. So I was saying the second thing is having a community around you, right? Having people around you who can help you with understanding the process, with moving on with the process, with just understanding how to do this because it's not easy. Also, tech can be a little bit brutal sometimes, or sales generally can be a bit brutal sometimes because you get a lot of rejection. So you need people around you who can support you, who can tell you, hey, I lost the deal last week too. It was double my entire quarterly sales, and it will have put me on the presidential award list for the year. And so all of those things, you need people around you who can also tell you, hey, keep going, keep grinding, because it can be a little bit brutal. So I hope that helps you.
Yeah, that helps. That helps absolutely. Can you hear me, Pius?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, yeah, that helps. So essentially, keep learning, don't stop learning. Have a community around you who can keep pushing you, right? And who can keep cheering you up even when you feel down. So yeah, that was super helpful.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so let me just quickly go on. And so getting into tech sales, you need to gain an understanding of various tech sales role, right? I'm sure Michael has all of the buzzwords, tech sales professional, business development manager, business development
So
executive.
sorry, Pius. I think the network is too bad. So
Too bad.
yeah, you're really breaking off, and I don't want anyone to lose out of this information you're sharing. So
So let me hope my internet provider allows us to do this. Is it any better?
yeah, I guess.
Okay, I'm trying to wonder why. I'm just wondering why it's just breaking off now all of a sudden. Is it any better? Any breakage? Anything at all?
Yeah, it's breaking off, and your video is breaking off as well.
Breaking off. Okay. Not quite sure why. Any luck? Still breaking?
Yeah, still breaking. Okay, you know what? Just go on. Just go on. Maybe it's my end. Just go on.
Oh, okay. Or you can ask maybe if it's happening on other people's ends as well. So
Yeah.
can I go on?
Yeah, just go on. Just go on, Pius. Yeah.
Okay. So like I was saying, you need to gain understanding of different tech sales roles. Which one, what means entry level. There's a lot of names these days. What is the meaning of what is the entry level in sales? Is it BD? Is it SDA? Is it SDR? Whatever it is, you need to understand all of those different meanings of the word. Another thing you also need to understand, you also need to do is develop essential skills. I think I sort of touched on this. Communication skills. You need to be able to research properly, research your your customers even before you engage them at all. You need to be able to do that properly. You need to cultivate connections with professionals in the industry. Whatever industry you're selling to, you need to be able to cultivate, build relationship within those industries and be able to navigate that. You also need to tailor your resume specifically for tech sales position. You're applying for a job, prepare for an interview, actively pursue opportunities, be on the lookout for opportunities around the tech ecosystem. You can start with internship, you can move up the ladder, SDR, BDE, BDM, so whatever it is, and then move up that way until you get your desired results. So, your learning toolkit. I think it's important to just be an active learner. Continue learning. Michael, can you still hear me?
Yeah, clearly I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So I think it's important to be an active learner, to be able to learn. Like I mentioned, you need to be to have the right tools to learn. You need to also sorry, 1 second. I was just okay. So you need to have the right tools to be able to learn. You need to read the right literature. You need to be able to, find the right online tools, online community, structure your own learning. Um, in my opinion, I think in 2025, you really have a lot of information available to you. YouTube is there. What we're doing right now is being directly uploaded onto YouTube. You have a lot of tools there. You have a lot of learning opportunities there. So take them, use them, learn as much as you can, practice as much as you can, and the sky is the limit for you. So sales mindset. I think this is important as well. I think I kind of overflogged this. You need to be a lifelong learner, adapt to fast changes in technology. Michael, you agree with me that there's a lot of changes happening within sales these days. Everybody's using tools like AI tools. Very recently, I saw a founder who just hired one salesperson, and then every other thing from marketing
Intensive
to sales to sales close. They build things around N8N, go high level, and that is what does the sales for them, right? Does everything from contacting the customer to even sending out invoices to the customer, and it works.
AI.
It works pretty well. The only thing is,
Sure.
my like the human touch, but a lot of things are changing, so you need to also change. You need to learn all of those things, be able to make your work very efficient. What one tech salesperson can do today is probably what 5 tech salespeople used to do in the past, or what 5 salespeople used to do in the past. So you need to be a lifelong learner to adapt. Resilience is also very important. Like I mentioned, rejections are going to come. You need to be able to move forward quickly, right? You're going to get rejection. Somebody's going to say they can just say they don't want to buy your product because they don't like your face. It can happen, right? Different things can happen. You can just so you need to be able to adapt. You need to be resilient. You need to be ironclad. You need to be able to push forward. Remove yourselves from this sales process. Remove your ego, your emotion from it. Nobody is talking about you. It's not about you, right? It's about maybe the product you're selling. It's about the career you've chosen. So you need to just be resilient and just push forward in tech sales. Curiosity understands clients' business and problems. You need to be curiosity to understand clients' business and problems. I think I mentioned this as well. So it's part of research. It's part of listening to the customer, understanding their problems, understanding their needs as well, and be able to then provide value to them. I also put together some pitfalls you need to avoid, right? Some common pitfalls you need to avoid in tech sales. So one is research your prospect extensively before engaging, right? So a lot of people just go into calls. They want to pitch. They just want to pitch. That is not the end goal. That is not the most important thing. The most important thing is research, is understanding your customer so much that there's nothing they can throw at you that you cannot tackle basically. Learn from common mistakes to succeed. This is why you need a community. This is why you also need to always look back at your experience and be able to use all of the learnings from your process to improve that sales process itself, right? Important, listen to understand customer needs. Don't just pitch. I think I've almost overflogged this as well. You need to understand customers' needs. You can't just keep pitching. You need to understand the customers' needs. You need to allow them. People like when they talk. People just like hearing themselves talk. So you need to allow them talk. Make sure they feel heard, they feel listened to, and then it just helps you build trust, helps you build relationship with them. And the last thing is just persistence, right? Persistence is crucial in tech sales. Avoid giving up. A lot of things are going to come out at you, but you need to avoid, just giving up. You need to stay at it, improve your skills, and you'll be happy you did. So the future of tech sales. What is the future of tech sales? The human element is going to be very important. I know there's a lot of AI and automation happening, but more than ever in 2025, the human touch is very important. Where what AI cannot do is, build a relationship, build a personal connection with people that feels real, that is outside of, texting and all of those things. Those are going to be important, especially for large ticket transactions, large deals. Building that human connection is going to be very, very important, and you need to be able to do that, right? You need to understand how to do that. Um, Sorry, is my internet? I'm sure my internet is still breaking.
No, I can hear you clearly, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So, um, so tech sales will continue to evolve. I've mentioned some newer tools. I've seen a lot of newer tools, AI tools, agentic AI that's going to disrupt the space, but doesn't mean that you shouldn't come into it. It's even the perfect time for you to be here to join the move for the future, to understand technology as we go on, and be able to just differentiate yourself. Relationship building is very valuable, more valuable now than ever, and you need to be able to understand that and be able to build relationship with customers long term. An example is there are customers that I built relationship with maybe 5 years ago on another role, maybe on another job, while I was in corporate, for example, and they became my customers. They became my biggest customers when I moved into tech sales. So you need to be able to build long-lasting relationship with people. Be very empathetic. One of the things that I think most salespeople try to do is be empathetic. Some salespeople don't do it, and you can see the difference, right? If you have empathy, you understand the customer need for better, and you're able to prescribe solutions to them. You're able to consult for them. You're standing with them as an ally, and that always builds trust and relationship better. So start the journey. Join your communities. The industry is hiring. There's a lot of tech sales roles going around. Everybody's looking for somebody who can sell their product. A lot of startups springing up. They need somebody to put their product in front of the customer. So you need to start the journey. You need to join, this community. Join any community that you can find. Find mentorship. Improve your skills. Practice. Practice your pitches. A good salesperson, Michael will tell you, some of us practice our sales pitches in our dreams. Some people stand in front of the mirror to practice. So you need to practice. You need mentorship as well. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I've been able to inspire one or two people. And
Amazing.
come along, come. Let's do this. There's a lot of opportunities here. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pius. Thank you so much. That was super good. So if you have questions in the audience, this is the time to ask. And we're just going to take a few questions because we're running out of time already. We have about 3 minutes before we wrap up. And yeah, we're running out of time. And just before the questions come in, Pius, I think I just had a few questions. A couple of people asked questions within the community before this live webinar. And maybe I can just ask you those questions and then you can just answer them while we wait for questions to come in. So someone said, how do you understand customer needs and present tech solutions that truly add value? How do you understand customer needs and present tech solutions that truly add value?
Okay, so understanding customer needs again goes back to listening, right? For B2B sales, it's the discovery call, right? Oh no. I think also just even before the discovery call, everything that comes before the discovery call, the research up until the point where you're meeting the customer, right? So I'm meeting a customer today. What did the person post on LinkedIn yesterday? You need to know that before going into a call. That's how you understand their needs. Because if they posted something today, you're selling a product today, and they posted something about it yesterday, and you don't know about it, you feel that is not good sales. If they posted something on LinkedIn yesterday, or they posted something on Twitter yesterday, and it has to do with your product, you need to know it. It has to do with a pain point, you need to know it, right? You're selling a product, maybe a cloud product, and somebody's complaining about their cloud provider on LinkedIn, or they're just generally just hinting at the fact that, yeah, they need a better cloud solution. You need to understand that and be able to meet. So it's about research, it's about listening, it's about understanding your own product as well. And again, I think one of the things I also mentioned earlier was empathy. You need to also be empathetic, right? Understand the pain. Just be able to step into their shoes and understand their pain is always very valuable to be able to do that. So, yeah. I hope that answers the question.
Clearly, man. Okay, so just before we go off, I just want to talk very briefly about while we also wait for questions, I just want to talk briefly about the tech sales, the School of Advanced Selling, right? And you've heard all of this amazing stuff here today. Listen, you want to join the School of Advanced Selling community right now because you need a community, just like Paya said, to help you grow within your tech sales profession, right? You cannot do it alone. There are days when it's going to get really lonely, really sad. When you lost that big deal you've been following for months, it's going to get really sad. So you need that community that helps you, that holds your hand even when you feel down, right? And as part of something we do at the School of Advanced Selling, right, we have a tech sales mastery course, right? I cannot flog this enough. Just before we started this session, I think I'm just going to share the slide very quickly. Before we started this session, we're talking about the cohort, right, that we had. We're talking about the cohort that we had. Okay, so this cohort, right, would help you get everything you need to know, everything you need to get started in the tech sales profession, right? We had cohort 1, we just rounded up with cohort 2, and we're about to begin cohort 3. Listen, you don't want to miss this, right? As a matter of fact, it's going for 50,000 naira. But if you join right now on this call, right, send a message within the community, and I'm sure Charity is somewhere around this call. Just put the link of the community on that YouTube chat and join the community right now. Send a message that you want to get started and join cohort 3, and you're going to get, say, 10% discount. I'll give you that. That's from me to you. You're getting this only on this live call. After this live call, price goes up to normal, guys. Listen, 10% just on the score, right? And even to spice things up, right, I have someone from cohort 1, right? Her name is Praise. Praise is on the score right now. So Praise, if you can just unmute yourself and just tell us your experience about cohort 1, what you learned, how that has driven your journey so far across tech sales.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Please confirm you can hear me.
Hi, Praise. Can you hear Praise?
All right.
Praise, can you speak?
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you, Praise. Okay, I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you now.
I can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Praise. I'm so sorry for this. I am in an event and I have to quickly join this. I work as a sales executive for a tech company. And to be honest, I started out my sales career in, can anybody still hear me? Because Michael's screen is frozen on my end.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Paris. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. So yes, I currently work in a tech company, but I started out as a customer success person. So the first sales job that I got was hands-on. I had no experience about sales. I mean, I've never seen anything in my entire life, and that was the first entry into the sales ecosystem. Then from there, I moved on to another company. But before that, I had a conversation with Michael where I told him my struggles, I mean, at the time, and he was really helpful. He gave me some tips, and I worked with them. So I was able to land a new role. Now for this new role, it was bigger, it was better than the previous one. But at the same time, I knew that the knowledge that I had was still limited and I need to upskill, right? So when I spoke with Michael and was like, okay, yeah, that he has this mentorship thing coming up and it would be really good. So I jumped on it and it was really, really amazing. It was really amazing for me because I was working as a sales person. I was able to execute everything that was taught in class at the time. So once we end the class or once we end the session, I just go back to my current process and I update it and I tell my team leader, oh, this is what I think I should update. I think this is the problem now. And they should be like, okay, go ahead with it. And I'll keep with that. And any feedback I get, I'm bringing it back to Michael to say, this and this and this and this was what I executed, and this and this and this was the feedback that I got. What do you think I can do better? So for me, it was just the accessibility. I was able to I had access to someone that was up there, someone that had experience, and it just changed everything for me. So yeah, I would definitely always recommend the mentorship session any day, anytime. Thank you once again.
Thank you so much,
Michael,
Ray.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
And
Can you
thank
hear
you
me?
so much, Pius. Yes, I can hear you. Your
Yeah.
session was really, really insightful. I learned so much joining. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
And
Nice.
that what's even more amazing, guys, listen, Pius just sent me a message right now. He says, anybody who starts up right now, right, you indicate interest to join the Tech Sales Mastery course, cohort 3. He's going to give you a one-on-one mentorship for free, guys. Listen, this offer, this offer doesn't come every time, but that's if you sign up today. That's if you sign up today. Listen, send a message on the community, or you can drop a message here in the chat that you're interested, and then I'll send you a message personally directly to you, right, to help you get started, right? And you get a one-on-one mentorship with not just myself, but Pius, right? Listen, guys, this is more than the offer you want to steal. Okay, right? I think we're beyond time. We just want to wrap up. Pius, just final words from you for anybody who wants to get started in tech sales right now.
Yeah. So I'd say just start. I think it's cliche, but just start. Start with something. Start with an internship. Start with selling anything that you can find you can put your hands on. Somebody's advertising a tech sales role. Do it for free for a while, maybe for a month or two, and then get your hands on it, understand the pulse, and just keep doing it. Right? Don't give up. Like I said, just be resilient. Be resilient. Keep doing it, and learn from your process. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from every other person around the community as well. Connect with people. I think tech sales people are always willing to help. We have a very strong community, especially in Nigeria, at least I know. So join as much as you can, register for courses, and I think you'll be good. So yeah, thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Pius, and thank you so much for joining this session. Hopefully we have you again on some of this kind of webinars. Thank you so much, Pius. And thank you so much for everyone who joined this live session. It was amazing to have you on this call. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.